Hello there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Venom by the Crow Hill Company in collaboration with Snakes of Russia. Following the rather wonderful recent Storm Cello library featuring the equally wonderful Tina Guo, the Crow Hill Company are keeping the releases coming thick and fast with their latest library. Venom is dark, dystopian and incredibly analog. In close collaboration with Joseph Holiday aka Snakes of Russia, Venom is packed full of heavyweight synth basses and percussion on the verge of total destruction. If you're a Snakes of Russia fan, Venom instantly creates their dark timbres and sonic dystopia. If you are merely looking for some great natural and designed synth and percussion, then look no further. It's big, it's heavy, and a whole lot of fun. Venom downloads at around 11GB and it runs in its own Crow Hill Company standalone plugin. It's currently on intro sale of £79. In this video, we're going to check out the sounds of Venom, and of course I've thrown it into the all-important composition. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Crow Hill Company for sending over a copy of Venom so we can make this video. Of course, while we do get the instruments for free, it doesn't in any way cloud our thoughts, ideas or judgments. We are working composers giving you our insights. Without further ado, let's jump into Venom. Here we have Venom from the Crow Hill Company and Snakes of Russia loaded up in its very own Crow Hill Company plugin. As soon as you load it up, the GUI just smacks you between the eyes. It looks absolutely stunning, and we got a symbol, a shuriken for example, on the left hand side. We got some curious names like Doll's Eyes and Skyflower, and some different dials, what looks like a V in the middle in red. And what I love about this library is that it really invites you to play around with the different sounds and the functionality. But before we do any of that, what we're going to do is listen to the sounds of Venom. So the default patch is an analog drum kit. Lovely. Let's look at the top. So we got our presets here. So that is our default kit. Now, if we go into kits, these are the original samples. So I'm just going to load up Ancient Kit. And we can see at the bottom, we've got two sets of keys that we can play. And this is set up for left and right hand drumming. Lovely. And there are lots of different round robins, so it doesn't sound machine gun effect. Absolutely lovely. So Dread Kit, and these are ready for you to do your own sound design on. So if I do Search Kit, brilliant. Let's just do one more. Well, I believe there's 33 kits as well. Don't know what went in the middle there. Lovely. So lots of different sounds and different timbres. If we go to design kits, we will get all of these different designs. So I'm going to start off down the bottom with Spectre. Love the sound design on these. Let's go for quite aggressive. Now we can see Venom has been engaged in the middle. Again, that looks amazing. And let's go one more. There's no loops, by the way. Let's do flame on. And now we'll do one more. Let's do black clouds. Fantastic. The mod wheel, just so you're aware, doesn't really do anything. However, you can adjust it to different parameters here. So we're adding saturation. Now what we're going to do is just check out the synths, and then we're going to talk about the different controls. So here we have the sampled, so the undesigned patches. And of course the module here. Oh, actually, let me just remove that assignment. So we can see how it changes the sound. Yeah. And of course the synth basses, so they go really low. Lovely. So that's cracked bass. Let's try another one. Let's do right bass. Yeah, very, very cool. And our last one, we're going to do unseen. Start off really low, that D. Lovely. And then we've got the designed basses as well. Here's Crux. Not sure why I went major. Let's go minor. And let's go Evil Eye. And then we'll do one last one, Phantom. Lovely. Now, let's just talk about the sound design. I'm going to load up one of the basses that is not designed. So let's go for Messenger bass. We're going to start off with the right-hand side. Now, these different names are actually different poisons. Yeah, it's a very interesting library, this one. So we've got Doll's Eyes, Arrow Tree, Wolfsbane, etc. Now here on the right hand side is where we control this poison. So first of all, you can actually load up any of the different bases or the kits from this menu here. However, we need to decide how we're going to apply our poison. So before, when I used the mod wheel and taught the MIDI CC assignment, it added saturation. So what we're going to do now is, let's say we want stutter. If I just right click on learn MIDI CC, I'm going to stick it on CC21 just for the time being. Now, our Doll's Eyes poison will make our synth stutter. So you can hear a stutter going on there. If we went for wave, we can hear it is very wavy. And let's just show you the envelope. Absolutely lovely. So we're going to leave it around here. And then these different controls, again, I'd just be playing with them. So there's a filter. We've got a shuriken. It's doing something. It's adding more depth, definitely. And then here, I'd probably end up going to the manual for that one. And then the last one, I think this is release. Yeah, it's release. There we go. So again, the instruction manual is really, really useful. And there are different effects here as well. So let's say I want to go for an epic reverb. Yeah, so we've got a big reverb going on there. Playing around with the delays. So you can have lots of fun with the different effects. Obviously, we've got Dirt, Smash, and Redux. Finally, the really fun control is in the middle. If you click on the V, you get the Venom to come up, and you just get this really weighty, dense, thick sound. So if I turn it off, and let's face it, it looks awesome as well. There we have Venom, and it's just a really fun library. It's £79 at the moment, and I think the content you get in there is wonderful. I've skirted over lots of the presets because obviously we only have 20 minutes or so to go through the instrument. But yeah, I mean, look at everything you get. So obviously all the synth basses and the kits that are not designed, and then you got the designed patches and design kits. So there is lots of content going on inside Venom. To put it to the test, I gave myself a challenge where I had an hour and a half to compose with Venom. I wanted to see how I could get that really big sound going on within a compositional context, and I was really curious to see how, when you start putting all the sounds together, what does the overall mix come out like. So I'm going to play the composition and then deliver my closing thoughts. But everything you hear is from the Crow Hill Company. I've used an electric piano, one of their guitars, and Tina Guo Storm Cellos in there, and of course the vertical piano, because it's a lovely piano. So without further ado, let's listen to the composition and then I will deliver my musings. Here we go, once again, we're at the closing thoughts section of the video, and we're talking about Venom from the Crow Hill Company and Snakes of Russia. I had a great time composing with Venom, and I absolutely love analog libraries. I spend lots of my time creating my own sounds, my own presets, using both software synths and hardware. Snakes of Russia have created this wonderful two-dimensional library with the Crow Hill Company. By that I mean we do have bass, synths and percussion, but we have the original captures, the original sampling, and then of course we have the sound design patches as well. I love the inclusion of the original sounds because that means you can go to town and create your own timbres, your own soundscapes. You can manipulate everything the way you want it. It's really good fun, and the way Venom has been built with all of the different controls and the customization options, it's really, really fun to play with. A lot of that is down to the GUI. It looks incredible and it just makes you want to explore the library and the controls that it has. And then of course we have the sound design presets, and they are wonderful. I played lots of those as we went through the walkthrough, and when I composed I made a combination of my own instruments and of course using the sound design ones as well. And what was really interesting, because when you have these aggressive dark libraries with lots of distortion, sometimes they can overlap and create this horrible sound, this wall of noise where it's just distortion and crunchiness and you know, it's a bit icky. However, in my composition, I decided I was going to stack up lots of drums, lots of synths, and nothing overlapped or clashed. I used some panning techniques. I did use Pan Man from Sound Toys to make a sort of pendulum sound halfway through. And I purposely made a the melody instrument quite dainty. So I use the Crow Hill Company electric piano. Also use the Guitar Hive as well. We've got Tina Guo in there with Storm Cello because it's one of my favourite libraries. I just love playing around with that. And I use the vertical piano, which is also one of my favourite pianos. So everything you hear is the Crow Hill Company with the emphasis on Venom. However, when you start gelling it with other instruments, that level of clarity is absolutely wonderful. So for £79, I really do recommend this library. If you are a Snakes of Russia fan, You're going to have a great time because it is Snakes of Russia in a box. If you want some amazing analog samples and some design patches already, and then the ability to just play around and manipulate the sounds, again, it is a fantastic library for that purpose. It really is a recommendation from me, and I just love how the Crow Hill Company keep on creating really fun instruments to use, because it really is, like I say, the GUI just invites you to explore and play around. Not everything is obvious at first, and I just had a ball just tweaking and experimenting. All that leaves me to say is thank you so much to the Crow Hill Company for sending over a copy of Venom so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course drop us a comment what you think about Venom. Have you already picked it up? It's been out for about 2 weeks at the time of making this video. I did go on holiday for a small amount of time. My family had a lovely time, but we're back to it now. Please check out our other videos on YouTube, and of course, if you've not done so already, please hit that subscribe button. It is the best way you can support us. We love seeing the channel grow, we love creating this content, and we're doing it purely to show off the hard work of the developers for the benefit of the composing community. So please hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already. Until next time, keep making that wonderful music, and we will speak again soon.